Okay, let me share my screen. So today is the only day you will see the presentation. Otherwise, you will be completely on Power BI. We do complete practical application, so there's not a lot of theory that we do through PPTs. Okay. So the class name is Mastering Power BI Pro Basic to Advanced. So even if you don't know anything about it, you'll be learn everything about it. So that's the core of it. Okay. I'll skip that before we get started. First, we'll talk a little bit about FCKS. I hope I'm audible and my screen is visible, right?
Yes. Yes,
Excellent,
yes.
excellent. So FCKS stands for Achieving Freedom by Creativity and Knowledge Sharing. Our focus is to help individual to learn and not just instruct to complete the course. So we are not instructor, we are trainer. We are here to help you learn. Our goal is to make sure that you understand everything and able to implement it in a practical way, not to complete the syllabus. Okay. So sometimes our course can get delayed a little bit if you're not able to understand. We can spend extra time and make sure that you understand. Usually the time for this course is 2.5 month. But in case if you are facing challenges or if there are some time offs that we take or if there are leaves or holidays, it can go up. A little bit more, our trainer, including myself, our industry expert, we have practical experience. We are currently working on what we are teaching you. So we know what is going on in industry and we're able to help you in from that point of view. We use most simplified way to, create this syllabus. So all courses are designed in such a way that even if you're not from engineering background or science background, you should be able to learn it. In fact, myself, I am from a commerce background. I have done my graduation in commerce and I've done my master's in science in AI and ML, so artificial intelligence and machine learning. But that doesn't matter to be honest because the courses are designed in such a way that no matter from which background you are, you will still be able to grasp it. And we have some support through job forums, query solving groups, and lifetime support. So you can join some of our groups where you'll be able to raise your queries, and one of our trainers or ex students will be able to answer you those. So we have all those support through Telegram channels. A little bit more about FCKS. The curriculum is research based, as I said already. It is it's practical application based as well. So some of these example you can simply lift and shift to your work. So whatever you learn here, you'll be able to implement immediately at your work. In some scenarios where you don't actually have uh, infrastructure or opportunity to work directly on some of these things, you can take on some of the online challenges and keep sure that you are practicing is going to be very important, so you need to make sure that you have a little bit of practice of this when you learn. We try to make this session interactive as much as possible, but it also depends a lot on you, right? So you need to make sure that you are interacting and making sure you are keeping me busy with all the questions. Remember, all the time that you have to spend on this course is during these 2 hours only, daily basis. You'll not get extra homework or practice example or anything to do. You'll get ample time to practice within the session itself. So that will help you. What happens is we all are working, so many times we don't get extra time to do a homework, right? We're not student anymore, we are working professionals. So it's designed that way. Any question on some of the advantages that I explained about FCKS?
How long, how long these classes will go? I mean, how many hours in a daily basis? 8 to
So
9 or 8
two
to 10?
hours, 8 to 10, uh,
Okay. And it runs on a everyday weekday, right?
every
Monday to
weekday.
Friday.
So 5 days a week. So that almost 20 days, which will give you around 50 hours, right? If I'm not wrong, yeah. 50 hours a month, and it will go for 2.5 months. So basically 120 hours or so. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So I am assuming that all are you joining Power BI because you know a little bit about data visualization. So answer me this, what comes to your mind when you hear word visualization? What do you think about when you hear word visualization? Hey, by the way, if you're not comfortable with English, I can speak Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Punjabi, now Kannada as well. What is your preferred language?
English is okay, but what I prefer, I mean, rather if all the communities, I mean, all the peoples are in they're comfortable with their local language, then probably we can go with the local language. I would prefer that.
Local language could be difficult because we will have people from different states.
Exactly. If they're from the
So,
different state, then probably we'll go with the English.
yeah,
But if not, then we'll go with the native language, I would say.
yeah.
But I'm okay, comfortable, no problem.
All right. Anybody have anything on the language we can speak, or let's keep the language aside. Answer the question. What comes to your mind when you hear word visualization?
Okay, when it's yeah, Ajinkya, go ahead. You want to say something?
Presentation of data, how it looks like. Okay. All right. Very good. Who else? Any other thoughts?
Okay, visualizations for me is to graph uh, charts and summarizations of entire data, some validations, data validations, I would say. Uh, Easy to look out the entire data in a crisp manner.
Okay, that's a very good thought. So easier to look out data in a very crisp manner. Graphs, charts, yeah, okay. What else? What else? Yash, any thoughts? Was that Yash or
Hello.
yeah, Yash? What do you think when we say visualization?
I think it's more about how I represent my numbers or my presentation,
Okay,
and that everybody should understand those presentation or the numbers,
on the
the
numbers,
graphical presentation of
data,
numbers. Yeah, data.
graphical representation of data, right? But the core of visualization that it should make things easier for you. Okay, so let's understand it a little bit more in detail. Okay, here's a question for you. If you are on phone, it could be a little bit more difficult, but how many values are greater than 7 that you see on this screen? So try to count them and tell me how much time you take, and we'll see how accurate you are. A lot of numbers in here, and it's greater than 7. Okay, so how many of these you see which are greater than 7?
It's a 13.
Okay, 11, 13. All right. Any other
11.
number? 11. How much time did it take? Around a minute, probably. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how accurate your result was. What I've done is I added some visualization so you can see it easier. Now, how many are there? Can you see it faster now?
13.
There are 13, correct? But you're able to read it fast now,
Correct.
right? So this is also visualization. Visualization is not always about graphs, charts, and presentation. It's about making your data stand out in a such a way that user don't have to read but understand data visually. So when looking at these yellow highlighted numbers, you didn't actually have to think whether they are number greater than 7 or not because you know they were highlighted because they are greater than 7. When you're looking earlier in this scenario where it was not highlighted, you have to do two things. One, you have to understand the number and see whether it is more than 7 or not. And then you also have to count it. So two tasks. Here you just have to count the yellow numbers. Right. So this is a simplest form of visualization where you take away some of the data interpretation requirement when somebody is looking at it. Okay. So when somebody is trying to understand the data, they interpret it. There could be more than one question that they try to answer. Visualization help you reduce those number of questions. So in this scenario, there were two questions. Okay, one, the number which are greater than 7, that is one question. And second question, how many of them? Okay, so two questions. As we use some visualization technique, we just reduced it. We just said, okay, just count number of uh, yellow things or yellow numbers, right? Because they are already highlighted for you. It's some of the simplest way of data visualization. Okay. So visualization is method of communication that converts data into visually recognizable and comparable information. Okay, this is a Google definition, just ignore it, don't worry about it, but this is what visualization is. It's a method of communication that converts data into visually recognizable and comparable information. So you're able to compare and see the data. Right? So that's what data visualization help you with. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about Power BI. How any of you used Power BI before?
Yeah, I have used it.
Okay, extensively or just over a little bit, or how was your experience so far
No,
with?
I am the recipient of the data. So
Okay,
when
you're a
somebody has
user.
prepared the data, I'm the user, final end
Okay,
user, I would say.
okay, all right, all right. Okay, so Power BI is a business intelligence platform built by Microsoft, okay, that help extracting, transforming, aggregating, analyzing, visualizing, and sharing data. So end to end is there. There are multiple other tools also. For example, if we talk about Tableau, Tableau can just do data visualization and sharing, these two aspects. If you want to do data modeling, data connection, and transformation, there is a tool called Tableau Prep. Power BI comes with Power Query, which will also be covered into these sessions. Probably not into overly depth, but enough for you to work on it, right? Our focus will be Power BI's visualization part. So we'll learn everything. We'll learn how the data connection works. We'll learn how data can be transformed. We'll learn how data modeling works, which is basically different joints and other areas. We'll understand data visualization, and we'll understand how to share reports, right? Uh, Now, some of these terms may not be familiar with you. One of the things that we try to do in this course is when you learn this, you will be able to grasp some of the word that can come into interview, right? So let me ask you all this question. Why you want to learn Power BI, by the way? Let's start with probably Yash. Yash, why you want to learn Power BI?
Enhance my knowledge and capitalize in working within my team so that get exposure.
Capitalize within the existing team or probably find a new job? Probably,
Yeah,
right?
you maybe yes, you can say.
Yeah. What about others?
For me, yes, I'm currently using Power BI, and
Mm-hmm.
it is SQL-based queries. Okay, so but I don't know exactly, data fetch into that Power BI and how that report, like I just extract the reports, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, the how to get the source and everything. And currently looking at this, finance transformation and everything. So it is much needed, I would say, just to learn, Power BI and this basic the automations that can be helpful, and uh, obviously it will grow to our careers.
Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. Yes. What about, sorry, I missed the name. Uh, Nagesh.
Yeah, it's an Nagesh.
Yeah.
Nagesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, to learn Power BI is very much needed because in my organizations, everyone is running behind continuous improvement, and
Okay.
continuous improvement can happen only with the some kind of an automations and make the recipients and the leaders' life easy. This is
Correct.
one thing, and another is rightly Yash mentioned that I just want to grow myself vertically,
Hmm.
not in these organizations, but other organizations to get the new good job.
Correct, correct. So we, so every time we have some student, one of the focus area is to grow in the organization. The other area is to find a better job. In both the scenario, you either have to go through IGPs or interviews. So what we do is we try to include some of the things that can help you with interviews. So these kind of theories will probably help you with some of the interview questions. There's one more that I'll cover, which is around joins, which is very commonly asked, like how do you join different tables? That will also help you in interview. So that is also one of the key things that we do in this syllabus. So if you don't know some of these words, that's completely fine. You'll learn them as we go. Okay? And you'll not only learn, you'll be able to explain them well uh, to anybody who asks. All right, so this Power BI, it have method to connect with data. There are hundred of sources that you can connect with. Transform that data in a readable and digestible format. Do data modeling to make it ready for reporting. Do visualization, basically reporting and analytics, and share those reports as needed. Okay, which includes like row level security, how others see the data, and all those things. So all these parts will be covered. These are some of the components of Power BI. So we have Power Query as a base. We have Power Maps, Power BI services, which is basically online way to submit it. Power BI Q&A, which basically, in a way, AI featured built in Power BI. It has been enhanced quite heavily these days with Copilot. Data management or gateway. This is for automatically refreshing your data. Data catalogs help you maintain the data or understand how your data is connected to different sources so you can modify and update it easily. And data security and management, like row level data security. For example, what Ajinkya will see will be different than what Yash or Nagesh is seeing. Right? So these all are components and we'll learn more about it. So if you don't know some of these words yet, completely fine. All right. And these are some of the words that will pop up quite a lot of time when you are working somewhere, interacting with some of your project managers, or in an interview or anywhere, right? So this will come a lot. These are the data sources that are available. Now, this is here because a lot of people ask like, hey, I have this software or this CRM or this ERP, can we connect it with Power BI? To be honest, all of those you can connect here, right? Uh, there are actually no restriction on what you can connect. If you don't have some of those API listed, you can actually connect it through some other injection or other APIs way. So we'll learn some of these things. Not all of these will be covered, but the basic will be covered so you understand how they are connected. Okay? Do any one of you have
Correct.
any specification like I have this source at office and I want to use it?
If something is called Vista,
Sorry, can you repeat?
yeah, Vista ERP, do you have that? Vista.
I'm sure we have that. Let's dig into that when we start, right? I'll help you with how to connect that. But you need to have all the access to do that.
Okay.
Okay.
No, but when we talk about the applications like an Oracle, SAP S/4HANA,
Uh-huh.
and other application as he mentioned, like Vista application,
Hmm.
how we as a trainer and trainee, how we can connect on the common platform because we do have access on the company's platform and you do have access with some different applications at your own.
Yeah. So as I
How
said,
both
we'll
we can
not be
connect it.
trying all the sources here. That's not our, goal. Because if we
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
that, we'll end up spending entire 2.5 months into it. So we'll try a few of them, and you'll
Okay.
understand the basic of how they are connected. Okay.
Perfect.
So
That
once you
suffice.
understand the core of it, you can use any of it, right? Now, what will happen is some of those will face challenges, probably. That's given, right? We are human beings, we'll face challenges. So if you face challenges, you can come back with your specific question of the class, right? Because that will probably confidential for you. You can come up with that question of the class saying, hey, Rakesh, I have this specific system I'm not able to connect, and I'll send you notes how to connect on it. Or if you need, we can connect virtually on calls and I'll guide you. Make sense?
Makes sense. Thanks.
All right. Okay. Components of Power BI. So there are a couple of things. So we have tile, which is basically a single chart. Then we have dashboard, which is combination of those chart. And then we have report, and there is infographics as well. So we learn infographic as well. So report is basically combination of multiple dashboard. So core component is tile. Then we come to dashboard. Then we come to multiple reports. Okay. Just for your understanding, we'll cover a little bit more on this, but these are the part that we'll be covering from visualization point of view. These are the infographics. Okay, some more example. Some of these kind of charts will be building, these kind of visualization will be building. Okay, you already answered this, why should you learn Power BI? But here are some of my takes. Okay, at least, sorry, let me go back, at least 9 of them. Okay, it's a number one analytical tool in the market at the moment. You can analyze any kind of data on it. It's very easy to learn. It has a wide application beyond just visualization, as someone spoke about continuous improvement. Some of the areas for continuous improvement or the core area for continuous improvement is to elimination of manual tasks or processes. Power BI helps immensely with that thing. Okay, you can automate lot of data pipelines and injections, so you don't have to worry about doing it manually. Right? Usually in past people used to extract data from CRM and then or ERP and then use Excel file to build a report and connect it. Now with Power BI, I can just click a button or even don't have to click a button and it will work, right? So it has a wide application just beyond visualization. It can help you reduce that because you have to create report only once. You have to format it only once. Next time it's automatic. Uh, it will help you increase the accuracy because you're not doing the calculation every time. You're doing it one time, so it is repeatable, replicable, so you don't have to worry about it. And of course, lastly, two things, it will help you progress in your career because not everybody is learning. You're choosing to learn, which is a great thing. And you'll be more employable. Definitely, you will have more experience on your resume, which will make you more employable. All right. I think we discussed some of these already, but any question on this? I'll take a pause for 10 seconds.
So after completion of this course, do we have any certification or any
Yeah,
post
so there are
exam or
two ways you can do it. One, you'll have a FCKS exam, which you need to pass and get a certification. Okay, there will be no cost for it for first attempt. If you decide to re-attempt it, there will be cost. The second, you can choose to give Microsoft exam as well, but that have additional cost that you have to pay to Microsoft directly. It costs you 4,800 rupees. We'll be covering some of the sample question that may come into that exam. The exam code is PL300. So at the end of class, we'll cover some of the question that may come into that exam and we'll give you look and feel of how that exam looks like, how it is managed. So we'll give you entire overview of that exam to you. So you can choose either of it. You can do both also because FCKS one is free, so you should definitely do it. Microsoft, you can decide if you want to take or you don't want to take. So those are the certification options that you'll have after completion of the course.
okay?
Okay, good question. Very good question. Any other question?
No, nothing from my side because I wanted to ask the same questions which
Okay, no
Yash
worries.
has asked.
No worries. All right, let's
No.
move on a little bit. Okay, why you should learn now? It's quite often asked, like, there's some of the things that it will help you get started with the career of analytics. It will increase the data. There is a huge demand in increase for data analysts and data scientists. You may have risk of lagging behind because everybody's trying to learn and grow in their career, and it will help you take step towards your dream job. But that's some of the thing. But let me ask you this: was your decision made a week back that you want to learn Power BI and you enrolled, or you wanted to learn it from, let's say, at least a month or two or more? What would be your answer if I ask you that question? When did you decide you want to learn, or when did you thought that you want to learn Power BI? How many months back?
Okay, so for me and Ajinka, we both are friends and joined one company.
Mm-hmm.
We both have decided last year,
Mm-hmm.
but we were not getting the right the the training institute. We
Mm-hmm.
were just into searching mode,
Mm-hmm.
and we looked at the YouTube and we asked people and where they have joined and all. But
Mm-hmm.
we decided almost you know almost 6 to almost 9 months before.
Right. So you're basically 9 months behind from when you decided to learn it.
Exactly, and I asked you know many people's. Most of the peoples they have asked join AFC AF I don't know
CKS. Yeah, yeah.
yeah FCKS
It's okay.
classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, this classes because one of my old friends he has referred me to this Raza I think right.
Raza sir,
So he's
yes.
referred
Yeah.
correct. So he has referred his name, and that's what I trust my friends, and therefore I asked Ajinkya to join because we are friends. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, excellent. So basically you're 9 months back, so I don't have to tell you why you should learn now and not wait further. What about, sorry, I'm missing the name again. I'll be good with them.
Yes,
Uh,
yes, I think.
Yash.
Yeah, almost the same. Means not 9 months, but at least a year back decided to join, and then I was continuous follow up with Razak that because last time it was missed from my side,
Mhm.
and this time I ensured that to get it enrolled, and I was just waiting for the details of the timelines when the schedule is being scheduled, and then get it in to the court. So, nevertheless, we know that we are late, but we are in now.
Yeah.
Let hoping for we will get those things sorted out, and we will see how best we can utilize this time and how faster we can achieve what our goal is. And there are so many things I have seen. Apart from this, there are so many courses which you guys are providing, and hoping that I'm complete this course as fast as I can and focus on the other one also.
Yeah. My recommendation only would be do it one by one. Don't try to get into too many things. We all are working, right? So time is a
Yeah,
luxury for us. These days, the work has been quite erratic. There has been a lot of workload on everyone. Adding something on top of that could be difficult. But then I leave it up to you if you want to take more than one course. You can do it. I have seen people doing it. And if you ask me about other course, I recommend only four if you want to go into analytics. Uh, One is Excel, definitely. The other one is this Power BI. The next one would be SQL. Uh, and the last one I would recommend is VBA. You can do Python as well. You can do Power Query, but those would be probably uh, something that you can learn while doing this as well. Unless you want to get into data science. Data science could be next step where you want to get into, but for that you have to have very, very strong statistical skills and mathematical skills. That's the core of it, to be honest. So could be challenging. But otherwise, these 3 to 4 courses, Excel, Power BI, SQL, must have, must have. All right, let's move to the next slide. What are the next step? So it's actually say 8 a.m. to 9:30. That is our time duration. But I usually it gets stressed a little bit by 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So it comes to 8 to 10. Okay, so what you need to do is there is a fees that you have to pay and do the registration. The fees is 16,000. There is a 10% discount if you pay one time. But if you want to pay in installment, that's also possible. There will be no discount. You have number on the screen that you need to note down, who will help you or guide you with the payment. I'll share my number as well in the chat, so you can contact with me if you need anything. Once you make the payment, you need to start attending the class. Make sure that you learn as well as possible. Do not hesitate to ask questions. A lot of us are hesitant to ask questions. So please do ask questions. As I said, there is an exam which is free of cost. You can join some of our support group as well. You can reach out to me if you need guidance about what should be the next course, what should I learn further to grow in my career. Get certified, start implementing what you're doing, and start applying for your dream job. It within company, outside company, right? I'm not saying that you should start leaving your jobs. I'm just saying this start looking for something good. And the reason we say that is not because we want you to change the job. We want you to start working on what you learn. And it helps us, right, as an institute. Otherwise, what will happen? You learn something, you'll not utilize it, you'll forget about it in 6 months down the line, and then you'll say, hey, we learned from FCKs, but we don't remember anything. That is not good for us. So we say start looking for the job and start implementing what you learn because it not only helps you, it helps us as well. And of course, keep learning because it is it is a moving goal. You once you get to the next level, you'll always want to go to the next one, right? So these are some of the next steps. Any question on this?
How the regular classes will run? Will it on links every day you will be sharing with everybody,
There
or
will
do
be
we have
same
any
link.
applications wherein?
No. There will be same Google link where we join
Hmm.
every day. There will be no new link for class. There is one link created, and we use that regularly. Everything is on cloud. We don't use applications.
Okay, okay.
Hmm?
Because most of times we would be using our office laptop,
Yeah,
so I'm just ensuring
installing things
from the
become difficult. I understand. So there will be no installation
correct.
requirement. You should have Power BI though, because it's practical, right?
Yeah,
So you should
we
have
do
Power
have.
BI. If you don't have, it's a free software. Check with your IT and get it installed.
Yeah, yeah. It's already there. I mean, we are using Power BI, so it
Perfect.
is there already on desktop.
Perfect. Right. Any other question?
Okay,
Okay.
the next question is, when
Hmm.
actual classes will start from day and date.
So it will start from the coming Monday. I think it is, if I'm not wrong,
8, 8th of?
yeah, 8, I guess, would be the Monday. Yeah, 8. There are chances that, we may have some late comers to class.
Mhm.
So we may get pushed by a couple of days or so, but not more than that. So we'll start in this coming week itself.
Okay. So Rakesh, I think
Hmm.
we only three people are there in this classes right now. But if we, so for example, only three people go ahead and they enrolled,
Hmm.
and we don't have much of students. Is there any chances
Yeah,
that
I
you postpone these classes?
usually not. I don't like to, crowd my batches. Usually I go with 5 to 10 students. I'm sure there are two people coming, so I'm not worried about it, honestly. And even
Mhm.
if they're not, we'll be able to do a little bit quicker because with less questions, less people uh, can help,
Okay.
complete batch slightly faster. So that should also be okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Hmm?
Perfect.
All right.
And
So
that's okay.
I'll not be stalling you all because of no student. We'll get started. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, because it happened in the past also in one of the organizations wherein only 2 to 3 people were there and they were not interested taking classes. This has happened with me. That's what I asked you.
No, I don't do these classes because of, like I need a certain batch size or something. This just helped me learn as well because when I teach you, you come up with question or some of the areas where you're doing something new, and that helps me learn as well. So that's the reason I take these classes. Huh, you can help me with more student if you have some people who want to join, some of your friends, please bring them up. Should be fine.
Yep.
Okay?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay.
Okay, Rakesh, if
Hmm.
sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions, but
No, go ahead.
if any classes, I missed it.
Yeah,
Like
good
for
question.
example,
I was
Monday,
wondering,
Tuesday, if I missed
yeah,
it.
Why somebody didn't ask that question yet? Okay, so very good question. So you'll receive notes. Uh, we try to cover not more than one example in a day. If they are small example, probably two. So not be missing on a lot. There are a couple of ways you can cover it. So if you're going to miss continuously 2 or 3 classes, uh, it will be difficult because then you'll have to cover them. So you can go
Hmm.
through notes. If you have a question, you can reach out to me. If you're just missing one, there will be a revision next day, right? So that will not be an impact at all. So if you miss one class, there is no impact. If you miss more than one or two, there are two ways to cover it. One, you go through the notes and try to cover it yourself. And if you have question, reach out to me separately. We can do a video call quickly, or we can do a WhatsApp and cover it. Or if you missed, like, let's say, bunch of classes, you missed entire week, okay, 5 classes. In the next batch, you can cover them free of cost. That should not be an issue as well. However, recommendation is not to try not to miss, right? So for example, let's say we are three here, or let's say we're going to have 5 students. If three of them says that Rakesh, there is Gudi Padwa and on 9th, right? There's a Gudi Padwa
Yeah,
on 9th and we want holiday. Fine, entire batch will have a holiday. Because if 3 students are missing, 2 students are learning, that doesn't help a lot, right? uh, because we'll not be on the same page than everyone. So do ask for holidays or leaves. Okay. If you are the only one person who's going to go on leave, probably will not take a leave. But then you'll have to cover it or try to just listen in. Join from phone. It's just 2 hours in the morning, or actually 1.5 hour to 2 hours in the morning. So join in from a call. It's okay if you don't do practical that day. If possible, join in from a call. And if you're not able to do it, then we'll try our best to cover it for you.
no problem.
Okay?
Perfect.
There will be no recordings. That I'll be very clear on. There will be no recordings because what happens is we tried to do recording in past, and most of the students wanted to rely on recording. They're like, every day out of 10 students, I'll receive message from 8 saying, sir, I'll go through recording. I'm not able to join today. The classes are in morning. A lot of us works in EMEA shift and US shift and whatnot. That becomes sometimes issue. So they are like, nahi, aaj nahi utna hai mujhe subah. I don't want to wake up. Let's go through recording. So people rely a lot on recording, so we stop doing recording. So you'll not have recording, but yeah, you'll have me if you need any help. Okay?
Yes, Rakesh. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you.
Any other question on this? No? All right.
No.
Let me show you couple of Power BI dashboard that we have built during the last class. This is one of the dashboard that we have built. Now, lot of things here, you'll see the new example, right? So every time we change or add new example, this is the one I have talked about a couple of minutes back. Okay, it's just stuck, seems. Yeah, let me see. So this is a Q&A. You can ask question here and it will create a chart for you. It's just a widget and this is out of box. See here, this is something out of box. So this is something called decomposition tree. You're able to see all these things. You'll be able to create some of these kind of visuals. Okay, let me close this. So you'll be able to create these kind of interactive dashboard. They work better in published mode. At the moment, this is not published, but you can see they are how interactive they can be. This is something called key influencer. What does this do is sometimes or many times your manager asks you, hey, can you find out what is moving the cells or what is impacting the survey, what is impacting the turnaround time. So this automatically do it for you. So some of these things we'll learn. Our focus will be on this. This is called data modeling. We'll see how this work. this visualization part, how these are built, how navigation and interaction works. Okay. Uh, there is something more here called Power Query. So we'll work on this and see how these formulas are created, how you can, utilize data, you can manipulate data, transform data, and model it to make sure that it is working for you. So these things will be covered. Let me show you one of more dashboard probably from previous batch.
Rakesh, when we are talking about the formula,
Hmm.
so are we writing the formula or we are no just using the menu bars and
No, we are
performing the
writing
activities?
formula. We are writing some of the M language also. So you learn that. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can also do it from the top menu, but it has limitation. It has, it is very limited. Just like Excel, right? In Excel, you can do some of the
Correct.
functions from top. But if you want to do complicate function, then you'll have to type it, right? So we'll type it.
Yeah.
We will learn from the basic how to do it. So we'll do some of
So
those
is
functions as well from the top menu. But
mhm.
at the advanced level, as we reach to, let's say, half of our course or even like 25% of our course was passed, we'll be in pretty much advanced mode.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a lot and lot of visualization here. You see this visualization? These are all we'll learn one by one. So our first few days will go into learning these. Then there is something that I'll provide to you which will not find easily on internet these days because it's kind of taken out, but still very useful is this custom visuals. So these all custom charts we'll learn. Okay, some of these are now available directly, some of these are still not. So we'll learn how to use these as well. You'll have more than 100 examples. Let me show you how many examples we had in last batch. So we had uh, okay, 164 examples, some practice examples, some dashboard. There will be a days where you'll probably don't want to learn new topic or I don't want to touch new topic and I'll give you, hey, try to solve this. Here is the thing, you need to replicate it, right? So we'll do that as well. So all of these things will be covered. You'll have more examples because it happens every time I take a new batch, there are more examples added where I learn something new and it is added, right? You'll receive notes, you'll receive these also will be covered. So you see, even these are basically examples for exam. So there are, I guess, 40 something, sorry, 35 of these examples that will be covered. So you'll have 164 plus 35. So close to 200 examples you'll have that will be covered into this. You'll understand the relationship, cardinality, and cross-filter direction for the data, which includes joins. You will understand few more things around Power BI. So some theoretical part will also be covered. You'll understand how to format data quickly using themes and everything. You'll understand how to use different kind of visualization from the scratch. You'll understand how to manipulate data, which is most important thing while working on any kind of data. So all these things will be covered. You'll understand basic also. For example, I don't know if you guys understand at the moment uh, what is metrics, what is integer, what is different data types, right? All those things will be covered. All right. A couple of one more dashboard that I wanted to see. Okay, there is this also, I guess here. Tooltip. That also will be covered, like how you can create these on hover. So some of these things are, uh, what I say, are useful when you want to fascinate people around you, right? Probably may not look that practical, but if you show this to your managers and everyone, they'll be highly delighted to see this. It's practical. Like for example, at the moment you'll be able to see the details for California without using the filters. Of course, we'll learn filters and everything here. We'll learn KPIs, we'll learn questions, we'll learn what if analysis as well. So for example, here let's say if we improve the percentage of profit, how it changes everything for us. We'll learn how to create these tooltips, right? I'm I like one of the thing I do is I focus a lot on visualization part as well. So some of the dashboard that you'll see that we'll create will be super fancy is the word I'll use for them. The reason is when through my career I learned one thing, right? Your dashboards will not be utilized by data geeks. They'll not be utilized much by people who are very familiar and very like statistical mind. They'll be used by business people. And for them, numbers is not only the important thing, how those numbers are represent, how they look is also important. So we'll focus a lot on visualization as well. So we make sure that our dashboard are so fancy to look at that people appreciate it even before looking at the data. Okay, so we'll do that part as well. Any questions so far around what you're looking at? Any thoughts that you have whether, hey Rakesh, will this be covered? It happens in my organization, or some of those questions you have.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rakesh just wanted to, as you said, the question related to the work which we are doing. So I am into the month-end reporting,
Uh-huh.
and most probably how the reporting part is happening.
Mm-hmm.
The visualization is based on what number I am providing and what I am estimating to be presented on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and the forecast number, which I am assuming that this would be the forecast and how the next month number will be
Mm-hmm.
seen into the report. So
Mm-hmm.
such type of example or uh, the things will be covered, right?
Yes, we'll cover quarter over quarter, month over month changes and all. Forecasting probably we will not delve a lot into, but Q on Q changes, YOY changes, MOM changes, that is definitely covered.
Okay, because why I'm saying that
Mm-hmm.
maybe Nagesh and the other person, I'm sorry, I forgot the name,
Yes.
Ajinkya, right? They will correlate with this during the month and means how the reporting is happening, like as for HANA. So the number is coming from like in S for HANA.
Mm-hmm.
The number is directly fetching into the system. Means it is taking from Excel to SAP, and it is directly covering the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
There is no more. There is minimum manual intervention, but
Mm-hmm.
for the other system, which is AFS and IFS system, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
which is mostly on the manual intervention, right? We have to prepare the Excel sheet, and from that Excel sheet, we have to upload into IFS system,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have to check in the numbers in one stream, how those numbers are coming correctly or not, and then there we have to do that reconciliation or the manual adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
So while doing that, we are getting much errors, like 3 4 validation. So my intention is to reduce those validation and give 100% accuracy to the upload file in a one go. So
Okay.
that would be an example to or like a project where there are 7 validation, and from 7 I have to reduce to 0.
Okay. So there will be a data cleanup and data validation example uh, that will be covered, but it may not specifically match with what you're doing because it is very different from company to company.
Hmm.
So you'll get a glimpse and understanding of how it should be done. Now, I don't really know what kind of validations you're doing, so I cannot include that exactly. If you come up with your specific question, I'll be glad to help you. So if you come up with Rakesh, I want to do this kind of validation. I want to check whether data have these lines or how this calculation matching with this, right? That I can
Hmm.
help you with. But you'll need to come up with that questions and the dummy data as well.
Okay,
Hmm?
sure.
So then I can
Yeah.
take it into example and use it as an example. Or we'll have, like, for example, let's say here, there'll be example for cleaning data, see, multiple data cleanups. So some of these will be there, uh, but If you want specific, come up with your own data and the output, and we'll try to automate it in Power BI. है ना?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Any other question?
I can correlate the questions which have been asked right now because I was also working on this one stream upload functionality
Hmm.
wherein the trial balance was being extracted from IFS systems and getting downloaded through Excel into one stream and getting a lot of validations and end up our no the working hours lot many hours where we were working in the month end just cleaning up the validations right
Hmm.
sort of validations. But I think rightly, Rakesh, you rightly mentioned that to come up with the specific questions because I am also not able to correlate the Power BI with the one stream
Yeah, that
functionality
sounds
right
more
now.
like, a robotic process automation problem to me.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
But, I have used OneStream for two purposes. So it is used in a finance team where I have worked before, and I have used it as a developer and a user for comp calculation. So compensation to sales rep for one of the companies where I worked was calculated based on the data coming from OneStream. So what we have done is, as an analytics team, is we have built a pipeline from where we used to connect OneStream data directly into Power BI. Well, that is possible, but the validation part of is something, tricky because a lot of companies are using different companies' CRM and different companies' ERP, and then OneStream is completely different, right? And usually what you try to do is you try to match your opportunities with the orders in general or something else which has to have some kind of unique IDs connecting with each other, and then you can do it in Power BI. If it is something different where you're searching for the things in, let's say, the system, then you're using some logic to pick it up. Unless you extract the data from that using some kind of API or system, Power BI may not be useful. In that case, you need to do RPA, where it can perform tasks exactly as you're doing as a human being. So that's why it's called robotic process automation. If you have access to data backend, then you can do it using Power BI. Does that make sense? Or little too technical? Sorry if it is.
No, that's okay. I mean, it's a little bit technical for me, but
We'll learn it as we go. So thing is, look at this way, right? RPA can copy a ID, can go to a browser, search for it, extract the result and give it to you. Correct? Because it is something that you can do manually as well. Whereas Power BI is an analytical tool. So you need to go to Power Query and make sure that you have access to that data. Connect that data here and then do any kind of manipulation that you want. Okay. So that's the difference between robotic process automation and Power BI. So in simple words, I will say that robotic process automation can click on button for you. It can click on any buttons for you. Power BI can't click on buttons. It has to get that data from backend. All right. And if you want to go into a career of analytics, robotic process automation may not be something that you need to focus on. Trust me. It has a lot of buzz in the past, but it's kind of outdated now. Anyways, any other question? No questions? All right, I'll stop
no.
recording
No.
uh, so we can, upload it or share it to the people.